The estimate is that 170 to 250 million people used an illegal drug in the past year. Created great costs to the world, to a number of countries, both industrial developed and developing countries, in terms of the workplace, in terms of health costs, and in terms of the way that supply of drugs, particularly when we think of cocaine and heroin, supply of drugs creates a great stress along the supply chain, bringing about corruption, a whole chain of international crime, and a disruption of society in a real, most countries now consider this to be a threat to their own national security. A number of the cartels. We are quite concerned about this phenomenon. These drugs are dangerous, they're habit-forming, they're addictive. They were meant to be painkillers and for analgesic and medicinal use, but they're increasingly abused, and our report goes into that. Europe, which, if you look back 10, 15 years ago, had its main problem in heroin, now is having quite an intense problem with regard to cocaine. And what this has done, and we say this in the report, we're concerned about the fact that much of the cocaine coming out of South America is being catapulted into Europe via West Africa as well, and so that brings about with it problems in corruption, bribery, international crime, establishing a base, an attempt to weaken the will of governments, and an attack on the institutions. Trafficking as an issue and is involved in quite a violent. There are some interesting positive developments going on in Afghanistan. More provinces have been declared opium-free. But the production is still very high, and it fuels, as you know, both the insurgency, the Taliban, the terrorist groups that exist, because it provides income for them. They either tax it, or in some cases are involved with drug traffickers themselves, sharing in the profits. So this, what I would call the nexus between international crime and drug trafficking and terrorism, is quite clear in that particular area.